You know the smart locks that I've installed over the years? They have some weird touch screen. They only have like 2 options on handle sets. This one, on the other hand, has some really cool features and they're all hidden. Coming to you from the Endura factory in Greensboro, North Carolina. Let's get going. All right, guys, I want to introduce you to Tom, the Director of Innovation here at Endura. Tom, this is a cool system. Before we get into the smart side though, tell me about the dumb side, the basic stuff here.
Sure, Matt. So most of the time indoors, you'll just have a standard latch and deadbolt. Sometimes you can get an upgrade for a lot of money to get a multi-point lock where you have additional points of contact that help you keep the door straight and seal it. The problem with that is that they come with special instructions because you got to lift the handle.
You gotta normally lift the handle to lock or do something weird to unlock.
And your options for trim sets are very, very limited at that point of time. So for those of you or those builders, homeowners, contractors, architects who want to have a matching trim sets throughout the house and have a standard operation, look at this. You have 3 points of contact, a latch, and a couple of shark fins or blades that come out and roll it up, connected to and operated by a standard trim set. Off the shelf, standard brands, Kwikset, Schlage's, Baldwin's,
all the
Amtex,
basics.
all the basics, or some of the upgraded brands as well. You can come in, everything, all the guts, all the power comes from what's inside and routed into the edge of the door. This just gets surface mounted and off you go.
That's really cool. Now, most of the time when I think multi-point locks, I'm thinking 2 things. Tom, I'm thinking security and I'm thinking air tightness. Now, security, we're at your factory, we're at your lab here. You showed me some really cool tests that you guys have done. First off, we shot a 2x4 cannon at a door that had a multi-point lock like this to simulate, what would happen in a hurricane if debris was flying. And because those 3 points of lock are spreading the load, that 2x4 did not penetrate. And then the other cool thing you showed me was that big ram where you dropped that 100-pound ram like we were on a Cops episode, jamming against the door. And even with a lot of force, that 3-point entry was able to withstand that attacker or that fake attacker. But I think the other thing that I like about this, beyond security, is the air tightness benefit. Talk to me about how this door helps you when it comes to air tightness and ultimately weatherproofness.
Sure, so going back to those additional 2 shark fins with a ramp and a slope built into them, notice how they come in contact with these 3 special strike plates that have rollers. All of that allows the door to come together.
Okay, so there's rollers on the strike plates, and then when you close that door, this door was purposely installed a little bit out of plumb, right? So if you look at the top of the door, it looks like it's coming out about 1/4 of an inch there in play.
And that's not unusual. You will find that in homes throughout the country.
Yep.
But simply by turning the key, I can pull that door
out. That's cool. That door is kind of pushing against that weather stripping now and making up that gap.
Correct.
Because the rollers are able to allow the shark fin to come in and not get stopped by it.
It sucks in that door, straightens it out, gives you a continuous seal all around the door.
That's pretty cool. So what is this system called?
That's called panel lock.
Panel lock. Okay, now the electronic side. This is cool, and this was the kind of the point of the video, but I think there's lots of other cool features. So panel lock is this main 3-point locking system, but additionally, show me how the electronic system works.
So simply by touching the face of the door, you can see I'm activating the lock.
That's pretty cool.
There's no battery packs, there's no keypads, nothing that would bring your eye to it that maybe doesn't match with the rest of the home. Everything goes inside. All the brains, all the power comes from the edge, from the inside of the door panel, and now the same power of 3 points are coming by activation.
Okay, so does that have enough power though to do what you showed me earlier when we turned the deadlock to push it against there? I'd be worried that it wouldn't have the force to do it.
Absolutely. So simply, once again, by contacting the face of the door, you can see how it sucks up that door. You can almost hear it. It's
kind of pushing right up against.
It gives you that suction, and it gives you all the power. So we just pulled it in with entry sync. You can see when.
Okay, that's called entry sync is your system.
And then I can unlock it. You can see how much it pops back out.
So this is the panel lock system right here. This gets inserted at the door mill shop. This isn't an aftermarket product, right? Because you actually have to route it out.
So the main difference between the two, as you can see, is this extra module right here.
Okay, so this is panel lock.
And that's the entry sync.
Got it.
What you see here is you have all the guts for the panel lock, be able to drive off a standard deadbolt additional points. In entry sync, with it, we add an extra module that has the batteries and the drivers, and then finally the cap sense.
Got it.
So this detects my presence on the face of the door. The lock then looks out for your presence of an electronic key.
Ah, so that's your phone with a little Bluetooth, and that's an app that you guys have?
That's correct.
Okay, so the app is saying, hey, send a signal to say it's okay to unlock. Now, what happens if you're inside and you have your phone and someone's outside and swipes it? Would they get in too?
Great question. So the lock actually detects what's inside versus outside. So you can be standing by your door with your electronic key inside of the house, and somebody from the outside will not be able to activate
Okay, because the system's smart enough to know, hey, you're outside or inside. Don't open if you're not outside.
Correct.
And then the other cool thing that I like about this is your batteries, these 4 AA's, are all hidden inside the door, rather than most smart locks, which have this really bulky, ugly battery pack right by where the deadbolt throw is.
Yeah, usually you'll be limited with terms of designs, but then you're dealing with that exposed battery pack.
Now, Tom, most people, when they think about smart locks, they think about like, hey, the maid's coming, or I've got a service guy. I want them to be able to have one-time access. Is that possible with your system?
You can have scheduled keys and schedules when they have access to it. You can also send somebody a key if they have the app. You send them in and they got there before you, so let them in, go ahead. And then finally, you have the connectivity through Bluetooth, but also if you plug in this little box to your Wi-Fi or to your network in
you got a little
house,
bridge as well.
you can bridge it and start using Wi-Fi. So you're sitting at the beach drinking pina coladas, you can still check, make sure that your door is properly locked.
Or you could send a signal to this door, just like the MyQ app on my LiftMaster, and say, hey, open the garage door, and then open the door into the house, right, remotely, even if you're not there, because you've got that bridge on there.
Correct.
I love that this is totally hidden. Now, Tom, though, you're not going to go to the home center and buy these parts, right? This is all equipment that I, as a builder or remodeler, am going to tell my mill shop. Like, I buy all my doors from Builder's First Source. I'm going to say to BFS when I order my doors, hey guys, I want Endura parts on my door. These guys make all kinds of stuff, but I also want the panel lock, or I want the panel lock with this entry sync system in it as well. Can you give us any range on price on this stuff?
Sure, the panel lock upgrade, obviously the door shop will have to route out a pocket for the lock, so that costs around $200 plus or minus. The entry sync upgrade adds another $200. Same kind of what you would add for a smart deadbolt. Now you're just shifting it from the trim set to the door. And
again, you can use any trim set, which I love. You can use a Baldwin, a Schlage, all those kind of normal brands can go on there.
Correct.
Very cool. Guys, if you want to learn more about Endura and all their cool door parts that I've used for the last 20 years, I've got a webinar. Click on the link in the description for that. Otherwise, talk to your mill shop if you're interested in these. Like I said, these are parts that you're going to order when you actually buy your exterior doors. You probably could retrofit this, but this is really made for a new door coming out of the door shop. Tom, thanks for your time, brother.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Guys, if you're not currently a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. We've got new nerdy content here every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.